Hello. I think most of y'all know me by now because this is my second time to run for mayor, but I am Farrah Cox. I am a Republican, but I chose to run as an independent this time around for several reasons, and let me explain those to you first before I get into who I am and why I'm running again. I knew that there would be likely multiple candidates in the Republican primary, and when you get into a situation where you have 3 or more candidates in a primary, it splits the votes, it doesn't serve the public well at all, and it doesn't really truly become an election about the issues. It becomes a popularity contest and who has the biggest Sunday school group and whose church turns up for them and that sort of thing. And I've been in politics all of my life. I was raised in it. I still work in it. And for me, an election is about the issues, not just who has the most people show up for them on election day who are their buddies. So that was one reason why I chose to run as an independent, and 2, because it would put me in the general election on June the 8th as opposed to the primary on April 6th or possibly a runoff 2 weeks later. I wanted as much time as I could get to meet as many of you as I could and to talk with as many of you as I could about what I can do for the city of Brandon. And when I say that I'm running as an independent, I also did that to put my actions where my mouth is, and that I will be a mayor for everyone, not just certain people, not just certain parts of Brandon. When I say I will be mayor for Brandon, I will truly be mayor for everyone. I don't care if you agree with me or not. I don't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, an independent, a liberal, Constitution Party, Reform Party, Green Party, Purple Party. I don't care. You are a citizen of Brandon, and it is my job as your mayor to represent you and to make this city better for you, for all of us. So that is why I chose to run as an independent. I am originally from the Delta. My husband and I met in college. We moved here in 1998 and chose to start our life and have our life in Brandon, make Brandon our new home. It's where we've raised our son. He graduated from Brandon High School. He attends Millsaps College now, and it's where we've chosen to stay. It became our new home, and that is why I ran for alderman in 2009 and met my good friend Harry Williams, who represents us in Ward 3. We love him to death. And why I ran for mayor in 2017, because I saw things that I as a citizen had concerns about, things I wanted to see done that the current administration was not handling, and I knew I could take care of. I still have those concerns and more 4 years later. So that is why I'm still running again, because I still care. It would be easy to say my son is out of school, I don't need to stay in Brandon anymore, I'm not happy with the way things are going overall, so I'll just go somewhere else. But this is our home, this is where we've chosen to be, this is where I want to invest my time and my efforts, and I believe in putting, not just complaining. If you're going to complain, be willing to do something about it, and I'm most definitely willing to do something about it. So I currently work for the state of Mississippi. My husband does too. We have been longtime state employees. We have public servant hearts. We have made an adult lifetime career of helping others, serving our state. And I have a bachelor's degree in history with an emphasis in in political science, a master's degree in public administration with an emphasis in public management. And as I said, I've got almost 17 total years with the state government. I'm very well aware of how government works, budgets, lobbying the legislature for help that we need, such as lobbying MDOT to help us with our roads that are state highways that the city is somewhat controlled of what they can do because it is a state highway. They've got to approve it first. Things like that. So I come prepared with a wealth of knowledge of how to run government, how to manage a city, how to manage the employees. And I also have a real estate broker license. I've been a real estate licensee for 20 years. I understand how to bring businesses in, how to negotiate those deals, the ins and outs of all those contracts. And as in my real estate career, when I was full-time doing that, I won customer service awards. And that's not an easy industry to win customer service awards in. I will bring that award-winning customer service to all of your city departments so that when you call about a water bill or you call about any type of issue that you may be having, no matter which city department it is, you will get excellent customer service and we will get to the root of your problem and help you. You've heard a lot of talk tonight about bringing new businesses. We need new businesses. Yes, every city needs new business. Every city must have growth in order to sustain. But at the same time, for the longest time, when we moved here, 23, 24 years ago, Brandon has had a reputation of being a bedroom community or a retirement community. I remember when we moved here, it was touted as being one of the best places to retire to. It was not promoted as being a business or as a magnet for business and wanting to draw business in. That's only changed in recent years. That's fine. Certainly people can change and have, new priorities and things like that, and the city can. I'm not saying that they can't. But when you have the same leader who's had a reputation of being difficult to work with or being anti-business or stringent with business and a lot of red tape and that sort of thing, that does not commute well to the rest of the business world, that all of a sudden now you're pro-business and you want them to come in. If you want to project that, you have got to change the face of your city government, and ideally with someone who understands business and has been in that. And at the same time, while you're bringing in new business, you have got to support your current businesses. We don't need empty businesses and buildings around vacated while we're touting all this new business. It doesn't look good to any incoming new business. You've got to promote you've got to support your current businesses. And as mayor, I will not only support them, I will help promote them. I will feature a Brandon business every week to make sure that all of Brandon knows who we have in town, what their services are, especially a lot of the downtown businesses that are off side streets and that sort of thing. You may not even know exist, much less what they do. And so that's just the very least that the city could do to support their current businesses. And it seems to me, and I'm sure you've seen too, certain businesses in certain parts of town get a lot of attention or get the red carpet rollout when a new restaurant is opened downtown, not necessarily over, say, the west side of town. And that's not fair. A business is a business. They should all have the support of the city that they have chosen to locate in, because we're grateful for every single one of them. And about our infrastructure, yes, I understand that there's a plan going forward, and that's great. We need to have a plan. We have aging pipes, aging water lines, aging sewage lines. Our mayor has known that these lines were 50 years old, had a lifespan of 50 years, and they have gone beyond that and are 55, getting close to 60 years old now. We've got these two wonderful new water towers, especially one over in Crossgates, which is where I live, that did increase our water pressure, and that's great. We're happy for that, but those aging pipes cannot take that extra pressure, and they have started having sewage and water line breaks. Then we have to have an emergency repair. There's money that wasn't planned for. There's a loss of water pressure, possible boil water notice, and then just the aggravation of you don't have water for at least a few hours, maybe a day or two, and that sort of thing. We don't expect to have that. Now, is it pretty? Is it glamorous to replace lines? No, it's not. But do you really want sewage backing up into your house or in your yard? No. But yet we've borrowed money to pave streets, and that's great, but we're going to have to dig up those pretty streets to replace the lines underneath. And when you're replacing your infrastructure, go from the ground under first and then build on top of it. Otherwise, you've wasted that money that you borrowed to pave that street just to dig it up, to replace that line, to repave it again, which then it's going to have a seam, water's going to get underneath it, it's going to break up. I would much rather drive on a bumpy road than I would to have sewage backing up in my house or in my yard or not have water and that sort of thing. The mayor's job is to sustain the city, sustain the quality of life that we have. That includes our water supply, that includes our fire rating, things like that. Building the water towers maintained that water supply instead of us maxing out and the Department of Health shutting it down because we can't take on more. You want to do something for us, build us another water tower to add to that so we can bring in more, not just sustain what we have. You build the new fire stations, and he's quick to brag about that. That's great too, but that maintained our fire rating. It did not improve our fire rating. We needed probably another fire station to move ahead with that and to further lower interest rates. interest rates, insurance rates. And two, speaking of our fire departments and our police departments are outstanding. They deserve to be paid as such. It's unfortunate that they can go to neighboring towns and get paid more. We need them just as much as any other town does. And if they are here, we should support them. We should pay them what they're worth. And so there's that. I will protect homeowners and their property values. I know in Cross Gates we have a group home coming in that it will house several adult people who have mental or physical disabilities. It's a sort of a transition home for them, and that's great. We certainly would welcome that type of facility to Brandon, but not in the middle of a subdivision that is zoned single family when this is not a single family residence, and where you have employees around the clock tending to these folks. There are better parts of town where that's more zoned for, that should be there, not in the middle of a subdivision when the homeowners around them don't want that, and it affects not their property value so much as their property desirability. When you go to sell, people find out they've got that next door. They may not want that sort of thing next door. So there's things like that that need to be taken care of and addressed that are not being addressed now. And then just the community events. There's more things that we could do around town to give people more things to do, from the people with young families to the older folks that are not just downtown. We need to spread it out. We need to bring back Brandon Day. If our surrounding communities can have their special days, we can too. I've heard a lot of criticism that the Brandon Day was done away with because it was losing money. Perhaps it was not being run properly if it was losing money. There are things you can do, and you can have your festivals, and you can not have them. You can have them free of charge. I meant to say you cannot charge for admission, and still not be spending thousands and thousands of dollars of the city budget and wasting money. It's not that hard. And if I have to pay for it out of my own pocket to have a Brandon Day to keep it from being a loss to the city, well, fine, then I will. Whatever it takes. Everybody's talked about transparency. I'm no different. You need to have your mayor accessible, and I will be accessible to you. I would love to talk to each and every one of you. There's certainly much more I could talk about that I will not take time to do tonight, so that Bo can come up here and say a few words. But feel free to reach out to me anytime. I would love to talk to you. And again, please let me stress, voting. City elections as a whole tend to have low voter turnout more than any other race, whether it be state or national. And this is where your vote matters the most. You have the most impact on the local level at your city and your county races. So please go vote. Please go choose your alderman on April 6th. Select your mayor if you want to on the Republican primary, and see who I'm going to face on June 8th. And then please show back up on June the 8th and vote for mayor once and for all for Brandon. And if you're in Ward 1, for your alderman there. Thank you.